funded through TBA capital outlay.
I have a question.
Yes, ma'am.
Why? Why water fountains? Oh, I'm sorry, but you have your hand up.
Go ahead, finish your question.
Sorry.
I
didn't see-
Take a drink, but
Naturally, right? The current ones are failing. They're having issues. There are a lot of internal parts you can't really change or work on the way they're built. There's 7 of them around the walking path now, if you count the one that hasn't worked for a while by the bathroom on the hill. Then there's one by the train car that needs to be rehabbed and taken out. It doesn't work. So I'd say 4 of the current 7 units, there was a DNR grant done about 20 years ago when they did the walking path. They're failing. They're just not working correctly. They don't have the good gravity drains on them like we need, and these ones would satisfy those. And this is one of the biggest requests. Like right now and tomorrow when it's 80 degrees, I know I'm going to get 10 emails. When will the drinking fountains be in? My dog needs a drink. I need a drink. We're walking a lot. So these have the dog filling bowls that drain out, and the dogs can get a drink, plus obviously the owners drink.
So I'm looking at all of these buildings that I go into, and I'm thinking schools and every place else with COVID going on. Every single drinking fountain is covered. You cannot use them during COVID.
Yeah, we didn't plan this during COVID, so when we did this initial RFP, obviously we can put them in and maybe not turn them on, but I'm hopeful COVID will be behind us sooner than later, or at a minimum by next year. So, I mean, we'll have them and be ready to go as soon as we're allowed to have
Won't
people.
a lot of people fill water bottles now? Why
Yeah.
couldn't you fill a water bottle? I mean, everything at my work is water bottle driven, and you just fill a bottle.
in the dogs, you can, the dogs,
Yeah.
sorry, through the chair.
Okay, so to answer, it was done pre-COVID, the process of planning this and getting these, and we got the quotes back and we're finally getting it before you. But I know that's one of the biggest demands at Heritage Park is drinking stations.
So through the chair, I just have to say it, they were working 10 years ago
I
when
know.
someone was here working.
I know. I
Okay?
swear we try to
I'm not
keep.
gonna mention that
Yeah.
person, that they were all working, they are old,
Yeah.
parts are hard to get.
Very hard
It's
to
hard
get.
to work on, especially when you have bigger hands. Who's installing them?
We would do it in-house along with the water department. Our team, building and grounds, and Mr. Swerf was going to give us a hand. He's pretty knowledgeable, so in-house.
I think they're needed. I mean, they're definitely old, but there's a lot more needs addressed for the park. What's happening with the buildings and stuff?
Last year, you guys approved roughly $170,000, or not last year, this fiscal year, worth of rehab and work on the buildings and houses, which it's all been completed. So now we'll be on to the next phase and assessing, worst to best and getting.
We got plans for the other buildings.
Absolutely, in the budget you guys are receiving, there's more work in there. So it's in bites. Obviously, I wish I could bring $1 million package to you and say we're gonna do it all, but we all understand how the budgets work and we have to prioritize and keep knocking that list out and maintaining it as it happens, and that's what we're gonna continue to do.
Was the Herkimer house one of them?
Oh, anything, yeah. Like we did the schoolhouse that was converted to hardy board, which I'm a huge fan of just because of the amount of sun those buildings receive, and wood does not do well on that western sun. It just starts to curl from the heat, exposure, and so that would be something we'd want to look into getting hardy board on and painting it, caulking it so it's seal tight and it can last and withstand the elements. The beautiful porches were put on, a lot of paint, new roofs on some of the buildings, masonry work, and there's more to do, always more to do, but definitely not noticed, and continued efforts are put towards it, and budgets are submitted, and we'll keep going.
Well, I know in the schoolhouse, because they had done that kind of outside part on there, but they noticed that it was sinking, and so and there was great big huge holes where the grates were, and I know they redid all of that.
All
They
that
did a
got
nice
redone,
job.
yeah.
I was just curious because I had passed out some pictures here of the Maggie's Sweet Shop there, and it is on the west side, which happens to bubble a
West
lot
side
on the
takes
hot
the worst,
side.
yeah, so we'll definitely get those items addressed and get them submitted to you guys for approval and get that work done.
So while we're here talking about approvals and things not looking good at there, can we talk about the train, the caboose?
If you guys do you want to finish this, or do you want to go?
Oh, I'm sorry, yeah.
No, I'm good. If the drinking fountains are.
Yeah, if this is your last one.
No, I have one more after this, yeah. So we put that out with the work, the rehab work. We did identify the train car and caboose were definitely in need of some major repairs, and not just, putting lipstick on it. Like, it really needed some work, some rehab. It's got some rot underneath. Those train cars are starting to rot. No one bid on it. We had multiple metal fabricators out. They said it'd be too time consuming. They'd have to charge us an astronomical amount, and they didn't think with the rot that's on those, it's a worthwhile endeavor to sink that kind of money into them. So I do need to reach out and start to make some contacts with railroads, companies, to see if there would be a possibility of getting new cars donated, because it doesn't seem that the rehab is going to be the easiest route with what we have existing there. A couple years ago, Home Depot was out, not a couple, 10 years ago now. We scraped, painted, sanded, and bought us some time, but it didn't hold up long enough. Like we said, those are also exposed to the elements, and I don't know how old they were when we received them, because they were here before myself, so I don't even know exactly when those were put in.
You know, the maintenance through the chair hasn't been the greatest in years past. Now we're finally catching up, and it's just gonna take place, like you said.
Takes place.
It was dedicated in 1993.
So those were there in '93, okay.
That was from the Fitz family in appreciation from Congressman John Dingell.
So they received them from like a CNC, a type of railroad company that took those out of commission, I assumed, and then we got them. So that would be my goal. We tried to rehab multiple times with putting it out through purchasing, and we've not received any successful bids that we could bring forth to you guys for approval. I could give one more run at that, but I also think we probably need to start the communication to get those new ones brought in.
I know the Historical Society even reached out to different places. There's a place out in Saline. A gentleman redid their caboose out there in their Heritage Park area, or Hereditary Park, whatever you want to call it. But he has now passed away, so there's no way of us getting in contact with him. But yeah, we've tried, you know, there was grants out there and things like that, but I know that's one of the most used building, figure, whatever you want to call it, for pictures at Heritage Park.
Yeah.
I mean, I had received an email, and I was mentioning to you, it says one grandmother came up to this resident who sent me an email. One grandmother told me that her grandson will only play by the two train structures because he loves them.
Yeah.
So
if
we can get another one, if this is lost cause, have to get rid of it kind of a thing, we definitely need to get another one.
I'll try to connect and make some relationships to see if I can find a door that opens, that there'd be a company willing to partner in the railroad industry.
I would start with Fritz.
There you go.
Chairman, I'm waiting on a phone call tonight, in fact, in reference to that, and see if we can get it replaced.
Perfect. You
I've
let
been
me
working
know
on
and we'll
it.
coordinate.
I heard about it, yeah. So I've got some people that I know that work in around the trains, see if we can maybe have them find it.
That'd be the ultimate win, to just replace
And then we
them.
have to figure out how to get rid of them.
Might be the easier part.
Are there any other questions?
Oh, yeah, I did have one talking about the park, and that still is, the pictures that I had handed to you and
Yeah.
everybody else was, the walkway around the park itself too.
Yeah, so when we brought those approvals, there still is outstanding work that did not get done due to the weather turning when we got the asphalt work approved.
Right.
So there's some items that I know as soon as they're back out, Heritage Park's on the top of the list of the pre-approval that we had from in September, October. So everything didn't get done. They did do some patchwork for us around just to make Winterfest safe,
Right.
but there was no way they could cut those areas out and have it done before the event started. Plus the roadway too, they also ran out of time there. We are told we're at the top of the list as soon as the work resumes, and those items will be taken care of. I don't know if that satisfies the entire list, but as I said, we'll keep assessing, and as the budget gets approved, we'll bring more back for you guys to approve. Or if we can get it all done in one bite, we'll do that.
Well, I thought I remembered something about the walkway.
Yep.
You know, getting it
It's in
done,
there.
and then I figured because we had the Winterfest and it was closed down for so long that they just did like a patch thing.
They did
And a lot of that patching is up because somebody saw our guys out there picking up the pieces of
Yeah.
that. One other thing too is that this resident has asked for is, around the Bean area, Bean field. As you come in off of North Line, a lot of people do just that walk area. You know, they don't go around the whole park or around the lake, but they do that little oval section there. Can we put trash cans out there? Or something in that
there's
area?
trash cans by the benches, but we could sprinkle a few more.
Well,
out.
because the comment was, you know, if I find something on the ground, I pick it up, but then I gotta walk all the way around
Yeah.
to maybe the back of the baseball field there, or take it over there to drop it off. So if we could just place them someplace.
Yeah, we could stagger a few more throughout.
And didn't we at one time say something about benches, or was that just down Goddard Road that they were replacing those benches?
They were all replaced, TIFA district, we installed some at Fletcher, TIFA district Fletcher, and Heritage Park got them in front of the open air pavilion.
So what happened to the old benches that you?
A lot of them, we do have a few that we can rehab, but the rust on, the reason we're replacing the most of them was the amount of rust, from the TIFA district. The salt on Goddard Road over the years just kind of ate away at the legs. But I'll see if Johnny has a couple in inventory that we could put that made it through and that we can refinish.
Even if you just put them, just a couple around that area for the
Yeah.
people that are walking.
There is
Just, you
one
know,
I think it's every quarter mile is how they laid it out. I gotta check that on that big walking path. I think it's every quarter mile, there's a bench and a drinking fountain and trash cans just at those stations, but it's quarter mile.
They still throw it 5 feet away on the road.
And they still don't use it.
Yeah, well, that's what I was thinking, water bottles, they're gonna fill it up and then throw their water bottle. One last thing I have is, in the back area, there's a dumpster, or there was a dumpster back there. Are they doing something back there? Cleaning something up in the walk?
The cul-de-sac that just ends, are we talking along Bruss where it just goes and ends?
No, we're,
No, in
you
the-
go in off of Goddard, and then as you go around, I think it's Missouri Drive, if I'm not mistaken, by the World Series there, kind of tucked in the woods.
Yeah, in the
I
World
think
Series
it's-
area.
As soon as
Yeah.
you go up to the intersection, and as you go to the right, it's back in there, so that you go behind.
I'll take